you could analyse and blame 5 or 6 different movements. Yes, Forshaw goes when he should have marked Ødegaard. Then once the ball goes to Ødegaard, Ayling comes out when he's never going to get Ødegaard. He's too far away from him. He comes out and leaves a massive load of space behind him. So it just showed that the Leeds team, not even the Leeds defence, the Leeds team was in complete disarray today. They looked as if they'd just gone, you all play, there you go, and just get on with it. There didn't seem to be any plan. More plan in the second half, more attitude, more energy by Leeds, and they rescued themselves to a little bit. But a lot of hard work needs to go on between now and Boxing Day. Has to on the training ground, organisationally wise.
Let's have a look at the Leeds lifeline that they gave themselves. Former Leeds player, Ben White, for this challenge.
It's a poor challenge.
On Rafinha.
It's a poor challenge. You know, stay on your feet there, Ben. You know, 3-0 up, you don't need to bring this kind of pressure on. You look at it, and he doesn't need to go to ground. Don't go to ground. Maybe he's slipped, I don't know. But you look at it there, you don't need to go to ground there.
No.
So don't, and this is what I'm saying about the inexperience and the young team, because I think that a more experienced defender stays up. Just stays up.
He's only the young lad, Gelhardt, running at him. He's going left to the touchline. You don't lunge in like that. I mean, today was fine. That'll be forgotten about because the game was an easy victory for Arsenal. But going forward, as Wrighty said, you have to learn. You can't dive in like that in that position on the ground when there's no danger, really.
Good finish from the spot from Rafinha in the end. At 3-1 down, how good a chance was this for Leeds to make it 3-2?
It's a great chance.
Well, I'll let Wrighty say it.
Well, the thing about it is, when I saw it, I didn't realise, because I'm thinking, why is he's made that into an overhead kick where it's coming from such a long way, you know, Somerville. He could watch that, he can head that. He could probably get ahead on that, and he's trying to do the spectacular. And it's unfortunate for him because he got subbed on, he got subbed back off. Probably, you know, that chance makes it 3-2. You get that on target, make the goalkeeper make a save. You never know what could happen.
Inexperience there, maybe? Just that split-second decision?
Well, it comes down to a young player who's trying to score a spectacular goal rather than just score a goal. Get the same cheer. You know, people might go on about, oh, what a great goal. But the fact is, they needed to score that so they could get back in the game. Then all of a sudden, Arsenal have a whole different proposition.
It was actually, he made it into a harder chance than it should have been. That it should have been, and that was the problem.
And not for the first time this week, Emil Smith-Rowe then came off the bench to put the icing on the cake.
Well, this is what, at the moment, what he's doing is brilliant. Tyler Roberts there, who had a poor game. What you've seen with Emil Smith-Rowe is, OK, I'm out of the team. But when I come on, I don't care if I get 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm going to get a chance, I'm going to make sure I score. Because what he's doing now, what he's realised, is that it's about goals, it's about end product, and it's something that he's worked on, and the managers want him to work on, and now he's showing the manager, right, if you put me on the bench, when I come off the bench, I'm looking to score a goal. He's done it, give the manager another problem, and that is what you want. That's exactly what you want from your player.
I like the fact that Ødegaard passed it to him, because Smith-Rowe wins it, gives him it, and then goes on this run and sprints past Drama. And thankfully, Ødegaard puts it, you know, a really nice pass, and he finished it off really well. But as you said, he's not playing at Smith-Rowe for the time being. Yet he came on the other day, made an impact. He's come on again to make an impact, and that's a really good sign. He doesn't deserve to play in the next game. But he knows that if he's there, you know, he's doing the right thing. His attitude must be spot on. He's scoring goals, and he's one that you can trust.
That's what you do. That's exactly what you do, and it's like Mikel's got a team now in his image. You see him, he's like almost micromanaging nothing, even at 3-0 up. He's still bawling and shouting. He's not letting them get on with it now. And it seems like the players are kind of taking that on in the way that they just want to continue to just go and go and go. And that's what you want to see with them. You want to see young players coming in and giving him a problem. I think that he wants that as well.
It's now 16 points from their first 18 games. It's Leeds' joint fewest points at this stage of a season in their entire history. What do you make of that? Do we need to take into consideration, though, without 10 senior players?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is part and parcel of why they lost. Before the game, when you looked at the 2 starting 11s, we all thought Arsenal would win the game today. That's not normal, because it's a hard game normally when they go away to Leeds, but we all thought, wow, Arsenal will win today. It was the manner of the defeat. Well, it was the manner of the defeat of the first half. Second half, they get a little bit of credibility back. But the first half performance, whether that's down to the manager and his instructions that he gives his team, or whether that's just a lack of organisation on the way they played, but the first half today was totally unacceptable. It doesn't matter whether it was an FA Cup game, Arsenal against a lower league side. You don't capitulate like that in the first half. You have to be more harder to beat and more difficult to break down. It was too easy today.
You know, when you look at the way Arsenal play with Martinelli and Saka, with Lacazette coming towards the ball, I think it's crazy to still do man-to-man in that situation, because you're just leaving space. They're coming in and there's loads of space everywhere. Lacazette comes in, loads of space behind Koch and behind Ayling. It's like made for someone like Martinelli, made for Saka. And you think to yourself, surely, with the team you're playing against, excuse me, you have to change your tactics in respect of denying that kind of space. You know Lacazette's going there. You know Martinelli's coming here. You know Ødegaard's going to drop off. Then you kind of like, for me, you have to be blocking those spaces, stopping people like Ødegaard running onto you. And then when you win the ball from there, then you go and spring on Arsenal. I didn't see it.
Yeah. You have to have a bank of four and a bank of four, especially when you've got people, young kids playing and people playing out of position.
Yeah.
You can't go head-to-head or toe-to-toe, whatever you want to call it, today with this team. Today should have just been, we are really in a bad place injury-wise, confidence-wise. Let's just keep a clean sheet today.
Did you see that mentality in the second half?
In the second half, yeah, but I think it was a question of, they were 3-0 down, the game was done. It was, the second half, they raised their game because they were awful in the first half. And Arsenal came down a level because it was so easy for them. And you don't need to, run forwards when actually we're winning 3-0 and can do this.
But the question is now, look at their next game, Liverpool away at Anfield, unbeaten this season there in all competitions. How does Bielsa play it? Like the first half he did today, which is what he did against Manchester City?
Yeah.
Or like the second half, where it's more a case of defensive first?
Well, he's got to go defensive first at Anfield. You surely cannot go to Anfield in this current climate with the amount of players they've got missing, the young players they've got, and then try and say you're going to go man-to-man with those players. It's absolutely crazy. If he does something like that, then they will get beaten 5, 6, 7 again.
Does he have a plan B?
Didn't look like it today.
Everybody has a plan B, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
He's got 5, 6 days before the Liverpool game. You just get on the field, you see who's fit, you see who could return, and you say, right, I know my team for Liverpool, and we are going to work on this shape. And you're going to have 4 people in front, and you're not going to move, and you're going to let the ball go wide to Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, because Liverpool have got smaller forwards, and we are going to defend the penalty area.
One thing you mentioned, actually, Ian, when you saw the first half, quite quickly you said they looked tired already. Are the players, if not physically, are they mentally fatigued after 3.5 years of Marcelo Bielsa's training sessions and match broke?
It's interesting. It's a good question, simply because we know he signs like 1-year contracts, for whatever reason, I don't know. And we know that his teams train and play at a very high intensity. Now, like we say, we're 3 years in, especially, and they were playing with the same intensity coming through the championship. And you just look at them today, and you just feel like they need massively freshening up. They did look tired. They look a little bit tired to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, unfortunately, the first half, you could throw every single suggestion at them because it was that bad, wasn't it, unfortunately? The first half, whether they were just inexperienced, people playing with some injuries and ailments, whether they were tired, but they were just overrun. I think it looked worse than it possibly was today because of their lack of desire or lack of organisation. In the second half, they didn't necessarily look tired.
No.
But in the first half, everything that could go wrong, they look like that today. And that can't... If he's any type of manager and he's very highly thought of, he has to be able to deal with this. He has to make them difficult to break down. Has to.
So how's he get out of this then?
Well, you say how's he get out of it? Like Steve said, in 6 days, you're going to have to try and come up with a plan to try and stop Liverpool. This is not something I believe you do in 6 days, especially with the players he's got at his disposal. This is something you've got to be doing from the start of the season to go alongside your plan A. So you think, right, we've got Arsenal, we know what they want to do, so we're going to play like this today. We've got Liverpool, we're going to have to play... It's not something he's going to be able to perfect against a team of that quality in 6 days.
Mind you, I mean, he might have less senior heads to call upon by that game. So we saw today.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I mean, it's just, firstly, it's sad, but you then cannot, even more so then, you just have to defend, don't you?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't go and want to attack Liverpool, not if you've got down to, you know, the bench that they had today full of teenagers. I mean, it's sad that it's got to this predicament. And also, come January, the owners who were sitting in the stands are going to have to put their hands in the pockets and help him out. Because if they don't help him out, he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, OK. For Arsenal, it's a 10th league win in 15. Have they finally found that level of consistency? Here's their head coach, Mikel Arteta.
I said great performance from the lads. Because they are the ones that played and have to execute it against a team that is very uncomfortable to play against. And I'm really glad the way they played. 3 games in a week, 3 wins, very physical games as well. And I'm really pleased.
Like you say, Leeds have a style that can make you very uncomfortable. But was the game plan in a way to exploit the way they play, particularly the way they come man to man?
Yeah, obviously we had some intentions with the ball and understanding how they were going to try to avoid us playing and coming through things that we could exploit. But again, I think the players understood the game really well, and we were really effective. We were a real threat, and in the first half we were really, really good.
Does Lacazette, to make that work today, does he have to be really selfless, making runs known he's not going to get the ball, allowing the wide guys to dive in?
That's what I said the other day, that he's a very unselfish player, but he has a big talent, which is that he makes the people around him better. And Gavi scored twice, and Bukayo scored, and Emile scored, but he's the one.
You're talking about the list of scorers there, all young players. I mean, it doesn't always work, I suppose, with young players. You have ups and downs, but how exciting is it when you see something like that? They play so well, and it's not just on the night. You know how much room there is for growth.
They are affecting games, and that's the most difficult thing in football, to be participating in the goal sheet, and they are doing that consistently, and they are helping the team a lot.
So how big a step is Martinelli taking at the moment?
Huge, but that's why you have to prepare a player. You cannot throw a player there when you think he's not ready. And Gavi has made the right steps and is evolving in the right direction. He's still a huge potential, and the ceiling is I don't know where, because he has so much still to improve. And he's very humble and works hard, and he puts his head down. And when that happens, and his big passion in life is football, I think good things are going to happen to him.
So for the team, how big a week's it been?
Terrific, because obviously after the defeats you want a reaction, and not only a reaction in terms of performance but results as well. And I think we deserve the 3 wins, and I'm really pleased.
Many positives for Mikel Arteta to take away from today. What about this one issue, though? Was Granit Xhaka a little lucky not to see more than just a vocal caution, shall we say, from the referee?
Ridiculous decision from Andre Mariner with this.
This wasn't even a yellow at the time.
Well, it didn't even get a yellow, and we saw not long after that, we saw a Leeds player, I think it was Gerhardt.
Yeah.
You know, look, he's actually over the boot, he's higher than the boot. You look at Gerhardt's challenge, it was a lot lower than that, and he got booked for it.
This wasn't even whistled as a foul.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, what I would say is that he's missed it, hasn't he, Andre Mariner? And it wasn't a red card, so you can't really get involved. It was a yellow card.
Yeah, that's a yellow, easily. Yeah. Easily as well,
he's just missed it.
Gerhardt got a yellow for something similar.
Yeah. Just minutes later.
Sammy
Crazy.
Yeah. And for the first time in 5 years, Arsenal will go into a Christmas day in the top 4. It's a good place to be, isn't it, right now?
Like I said, yeah, it's brilliant, you know, in what he's doing and the way he's turned it around with the new signings. They've all seemed to be settling in very, very well. He has to get credit, him and Edu, for what they've done up to this point. But that's the plan, to get into the top 4, get back into Champions League and Europe. And so it's still a long way to go, but like you're looking at the green shoots, they look pretty good at the minute.
Yeah. Are you seeing the squad mature?
Yes, I think that's the most important thing. Getting in the top 4 is ridiculous at Christmas. As Wrighty said, it's getting in the top 4 at the end of May. Yeah. You know, Tottenham have got 4 games in hand on them, can go above them. United can go above them. So actually, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that at the beginning of the season, they were terrible. They lost to Man City 5-0, I think it was. I was at the game. They were woeful. Now, they're improving from here, August till Christmas. In that short space of time, they've flown through. And that's a brilliant sign if you're an Arsenal fan.
And that is the question. They are there now, but have they got the ability, the belief to stay there come May?
Yeah, but that's what results do for you.
Yeah.
They've got the ability, you know, and the ability in winning games like this today in the West Ham game will give them the belief. And so as they're going along, they'll pick up the experience of what's going on. Like Steve said, there's people got games in hand. You can't worry about that. Get the points in the bag and then continue to put pressure on the teams with games in hand.
OK.